Hello everybody, welcome to the White Tiger Tarot. Thank you so much for being with me here today on day 7 of this tarot advent that we have going on this channel. So welcome if this is your first time. You know, this is the 7th day of our advent, so you can go back and check out the rest of the advent, catch up, eat the chocolates you missed and the goodies you missed, and yeah, today's advent is who's coming towards you. Okay, so we're going to take a look at an energy of a person who is headed your way, coming in. Okay, and I have a feeling it's going to be a little bit of a mixed bag. I kind of intended this to be more of a love-focused reading. Okay, but I know not everyone is interested in that, and so I'm going to interpret the energy as it is, okay? And so if this is love you're coming for, then that will be your message. If this is something like news about, you know, progress on something or a job, okay, you can interpret it that way as well. All right, so we're going to get into it now. I'm going to introduce your piles one at a time. All right, we have our numbers here, so we pick numbers from 1 till 12. And since we have 3 piles today, we're going to have 4 numbers per pile. All right, and so this could be a random number, life path number, birthday, birth month, favorite number, angel number. Okay, completely up to you how you pick your pile today. It is just an option for those who would like it. All right, so let's get into it now. Pile number 1 has the matte gold ornament. Since our cards are face down today, I'm not going to bother bringing them up. So I'm just going to close my eyes and shuffle the numbers and get our numbers. 6, 5, 10, 9 for pile number 1. Pile number 2 has the small shiny red ornament. Okay, and the numbers for pile number 2 are 4, 1, 2, and 11. 4, 1, 2, and 11. Pile number 3 has the shiny gold ornaments. And the numbers for pile 3 are 7, 3, 8, and 12. 7, 8, 3, and 12 for pile number 3. Okay, so with that being said, I'll give you guys a few moments to meditate on the piles here, and I will see you in your reading. Hello, pile number 1. Welcome to your reading. This is who's coming towards you. All right, so we're going to take a look at who this person is, what energy they hold, kind of what energy they're bringing in, okay? Yeah, let's just get headed right into it. We got your matte gold ornament there. 6, 5, 10, and 9 are your numbers. And your cards are Wasily Kandinsky. Okay, so this is actually an artist deck. Okay, so it kind of just gives us like the general or some kind of hint as far as the energy of this person. Okay, and this person said, or their ideas or beliefs were transcend systems to find spirit, hear music through sight, begin with a dot. Okay, so this is very cool. This is almost reminding me of like Aquarian energy, like very smart, right? Very out there, okay, in a certain way. Transcend systems to find spirit. It's like transcending. This person has, I think, big ideas, or they transcend the normal, and maybe they are a spiritual person, okay? And I think there's someone who kind of breaks the norm, breaks convention, okay? Someone very outside of the box. And then we have Cindy Sherman. Oh, I'm going to have to cover that. Okay, it says, don't be yourself, be yourselves. Tell the truth in every fiction. Take a good long look in someone else's mirror. Interesting. So she has many kind of faces here. She's very dolled up. She looks like a very unique individual. Okay. So, be yourselves. Yeah. It's a very like transcendent person. They transcend, kind of like the normal or the average, maybe way of looking, doing things, being, right? Many aspects. It's interesting because this person looks very well put together, like, very much, suit and tie, well put together. And then here it's like almost like very wild and chaotic. So, and it says take a good look in a long look in someone else's mirrors. So maybe you guys are a really great mirror for each other, right? Maybe there's a really good balance here. We also have bone, speech, opening, and thresholds. Okay, so this makes me look like there's an opening for maybe communication here. A threshold, maybe you're getting past. Maybe there's a threshold of communication coming through. Someone's getting past a threshold, maybe past a blockage, right? Let's actually read that from the book and see what it says. I'm curious here. This is from the Fairy Tale Oracle. Also, I apologize. I've been slacking on listing some new decks that I got, so I will do that. Okay. So this is bone, speech, opening, thresholds. It says, an earthly relic of one who has passed on. A bone is neither of this world nor the other. Bones possess resurrection magic. A bone buried under a juniper tree is reborn as a bird, and a bone plucked from a watery grave is carved into a pipe that sings the name of its murderer. The body decays, but the bones stay, telling their story for ages. The truth will come out. Interesting. Okay, so there could be a truth coming towards you from somebody, right, that you've been wanting to hear, you've been waiting to hear. And maybe this is this person's feelings, right? Maybe they have many kind of like personalities, and they show up in different ways to you. So maybe that has left you, feeling a little bit like lost or confused for some. For others, this is like, I feel like this person may be getting more comfortable to show other parts of themselves to you, right? Maybe their more wild side, their crazy side, their fun side. But it's such a vast energy, and it's very transcendent, right? It's very much different from the rest, different from anyone you've ever met. If this is someone new, because for some of you, this is going to be someone who's resurrected from your past, okay, with the bones. right? This could definitely be someone who's coming in from the past with a communication. A truth is coming up, coming out, you know, maybe with this truth comes a resurrection of a relationship, or resurrection of communication or connection. Yeah. Begin with a dot. Yeah. Something may have started and then fell off. Okay. And something's getting kind of revived or revisited. All right. So let's get more information here. Okay. So we have the moon with past lives. So there's again that feeling of the past. So someone coming back from the past, maybe you guys have had past lives connected, okay? That could definitely be this past thing where it feels like there's a past life connection. All right. But yeah, there's something about the past here. An opening from the past, someone coming back in from the past, or something coming in to maybe help figure out something that happened in the past, a truth, or, you know, a resolve, an opening. Ace of Cups, going with the flow. So there is something new. There's something old and something new. Something from the past coming back up, or some kind of past life connection here with this person. But then there's also this new, fresh page, right? And they're like, go with the flow of the new. I have a feeling they're saying, like, don't hold on to the past. I think something is coming in to be transformed, right? They're like, go with the flow of the new. Don't hang on too much about the past. If there is some kind of, like, in this lifetime, past connection, you know, I feel like someone's maybe changed, okay? Changed a lot. Yeah. There's something here about this person being a very good mirror for you. There's something mirroring here between you. But there is new love or new connection or new opening here. Yeah, Knight of Cups, trust. They're like, trust fall into this. They're like, you're safe. Even if, you know, there has been something there. They're like, trust fall. You can trust this person. You can trust kind of what this new opening or threshold is that we're kind of crossing or getting into. I think this is something new and fresh. They're like, go with the flow, trust. I think you can feel safe in this, you know, in letting go, or in opening up to this person or this situation. Yeah. Knight of Swords with mind. I think they want you to get out of your mind and into the flow, into the body, into going with it. Yeah. Another Eight of Swords, guilt, right? Something from the past, and maybe it's just your own experience of the past that is leaving you a little bit weary. okay? In the head, overthinking, right? Whereas here, they're like, get in the heart space. The heart is saying yes. The heart is saying open up. The heart is saying, trust and go with the flow and just go with it, right? It's just the past that is kind of, or the mind that's putting a block on things. The Chariot with awareness. Three of Cups, celebration. Four of Pentacles, the Miser, and the Ten of Swords with rebirth. Actually, you know what? I don't want to cover these. Yeah, I feel like the communication comes through. Something new happens. Maybe they reach out, right? The Three of Cups is celebration, right? There's something to be celebrated here. There's some kind of opening that they want you to go with, right? And they're like, get out of your mind. The hard part from the past, or everything that's happened in the past, is in the past, right? So they're like, don't overthink this. Don't get in your own way. Okay, don't feel bad or guilty or whatever this is. It's like, the past is now dead, right? Or maybe this person, who they were in their past, they've changed a lot. They've really outgrown this old self, right? And they've really become new. They transcended something here. They've become maybe something different, or they learned a very big lesson in themselves. Okay. Yeah, these came out together. So what may have felt blocked from the past, okay, maybe something felt blocked, something that you wanted, maybe an outcome, a goal, a financial goal for some, or like just maybe love with this person. Maybe they put a stop to something, or maybe it just has felt blocked with them. Okay, I see this person having a rebirth. I see them changing and overcoming and becoming someone new, right? Transcending. Like there's a new person here. There's like, I think this is saying like, accept the fact that, or give grace to people that, their capacity to change and to grow and to shift. Yeah, I think you're going to see the change in someone. And this is saying like this hard kind of blocked energy that maybe was with this person, or maybe around this situation in this energy, is now coming to an end. And I think it's freeing up. Right? It's moving now with the Chariot. Look, there's newfound awareness. Okay? This person has maybe changed their mind. They have grown. There's a new awareness, right? They're coming through an old self, right? Someone maybe who was scared, or who was unknowledgeable or unknowing. Okay? There's been some kind of maybe new awareness, new growth in them. And so they're saying, you can trust this, you can go with this, right? Yeah, this is a time of celebration and elation and gratitude, and not to like overthink this, or like, think too much about the past or what was the past lives. They're like, go with the flow of the now. That's your advice, is not to think about the past, not to revisit or relive the past, but to go with the flow of the now. Go with how you feel now. Like, does it feel good? Can you see this happening, right? Can you go with this? Can you open up to this? That's going to lead you to and maybe this is, an old friend group, right? It's really going to lead you to a lot of love, celebration, right? We have, the Ace of Cups, the Knight of Cups, and the Three of Cups. This is like, This is someone very heartfelt, right? Very heartfelt, heart on their sleeve, you know, genuine, okay? Nine of Pentacles and the Hermit. This person seems very like independent, right, with these two cards. But also, again, we're seeing this transformation with the Hermit, right? They've done a lot of growing, right? A lot of learning. They've really, I think they're much more in tune with themselves, and they've transcended a lot within them, or maybe a lot of negative, maybe habits or attitudes, behaviors, right? It seems like they're doing really well now. They seem like in a very stable place within themselves, but also in their outer world. So they could have their own business going on, or they could just be very financially stable. Yeah, and the Nine of Cups here, right? This is like, I think you've wished for this. I think you've hoped for this. And I think it's about to come through in a very stable way. I think this person's going to come towards you. And I think it's something you've wished for, right? And I think they're a lot more stable. Oops. And even if this is maybe a past life and you don't know who this person could be, right, at this point. I think if this is not a past person in you, it could, I mean, in this life, it could have been a past, but it could also be your past, right? You feeling a little bit weary because of past relationships that you've had or past situations. Look at that. We have the Tower and the Death card. So I think this person went through a huge shift, right? Maybe something really tragic happened in their lives, okay, that caused, it like forced them into a major transformation. This could have been a really unexpected moment for them, happening for them. Maybe something went wrong. It doesn't have to be, but it could be just a huge shift or something unexpected happened in their lives that, and maybe it was the death of someone important to them. It doesn't have to be that. It could just be something coming to an end or happening for them. And they almost were forced to change. They were forced to kind of transform. And we see that with the Ten of Swords here, with this rebirth, right? They were kind of forced into a rebirth. Something happened and they had to go within themselves and figure out, you know, who am I? What's really important to me? But yeah, I think something, and also I'm getting that something might big happen that really triggers this person to change and come towards you, right? And they're like, I think they might just see what's really important to them. Look at that, the Star. Yeah, it's like Four of Swords. This to me is like, they had to really focus on, you know, rest and dreaming. Like, what is my dream? What is my wish? What is my hope? What do I see for myself? Right? And I think they decided, and that's why they're coming towards you now, is that maybe you're part of that, right? You're part of this dream, right? You're part of this wish. I think they had a lot of time to think, to sit down and you know, time alone, and I think they got clear about something. Look at that. Queen of Pentacles and the Three of Cups again. So I think they see you as someone who is very loving and someone they want to share their love with, share their joy with. They see you as someone who's very stable, secure, right, grounded. And I think they want to they want to join you in that, or they want to share their lives, their love, their their goals with you, right? Their dreams with you. That's what this feels like. It feels like you're going to be celebrating really soon. Like there's a moment for celebration, whether this person comes in, as an old friend or as a lover or as someone, that with a truth or with something that you've been waiting for. Okay, maybe a change of heart or a change of mind, but it's going to lead to a lot of celebration, a lot of love, right? A lot of like reward and feeling rewarded. Stop. Look at that. Bottom of the deck energy, King of Pentacles. Okay, so they definitely, I think they see you as their divine counterpart. And I think you guys do have that. I think you have connections beyond this life that transcend maybe even this lifetime. Okay, there seems to be, you guys are definitely some kind of soul connection here. Okay, something that was blocked is going to be freed. Okay, there's going to be the Three of Cups, celebration, a moment of celebration, a moment of elation, freedom, love, sharing that love, right? Maybe this person wants to build a life with you, build a family with you, or build something with you together. Okay. Yeah, I think something they're about to land or about to come in, because I think they're feeling more stable, more, on stable ground within themselves. So let's get one more card before we go. We'll get an oracle. Hollow bone teachability. Yeah. This is saying, I think they went through that's what the reading has been saying the whole time. Okay. Is that this person had to go through a difficult time of learning, right? They had to learn, they had to be taught by life. And I think they've been through that. I think they've learned some maybe very difficult lesson. And then we have gathering around, the power of community. For a lot of you, this could be a new community, or someone comes in to bring you into a new community. Or you meet this person and their friend group or their family are amazing. And it feels good, it feels right. But there's something here about, meeting groups of people or meeting someone that brings you into a great group that feels like home, that feels like friends, right? Feels like love. So I think very soon you are going to be celebrating with friends, or you're going to be meeting new people, or meeting someone and, then meeting new people through them. But yeah, this is bringing you to a greater sense of love and expansion in community. And there was, this just needed to be this great moment of teaching. And again, we see this like the bone, the death, right? There's a lot about death here, right? There's a lot about transformation from the past and changing and transforming and becoming something new, learning from the past, right? And so there's a rebirth here within this. Okay, so pile one, that was your reading about who's coming towards you. And I hope this was helpful in some way. I hope the energy kind of gave you something that you were feeling or anticipating in some way, or resonated in some way for you. Please let me know in the comments if it did. I would love to hear from you guys. And also let me know by giving me a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys tomorrow for day 8 of this tarot advent that we've got going on. All right, thank you so much. I will see you guys on the next video. All of my love. Peace. Hello, pile number 2. Welcome to your reading. This is who is coming towards you on this 7th day of Advent. All right, you guys chose this little shiny red ornament. Your numbers are 4, 1, 2, and 11. Now let's take a look. I have these artists, I have these artist cards, so it kind of is going to help me get a kind of general idea about their energy, perhaps. Okay, so that's the idea here. Ooh, we have Pablo Picasso. It says, if nothing else, be prolific. Choose to have as many styles as you do lovers. Make something worth impersonating. Okay, interesting. I'm seeing eyes here. So, and they're painting, maybe very creative, very prolific. Okay, I think they admire maybe your eyes or something about you. Inspires them. Maybe you're their muse in some way. And another painter, we have Jason Pollock. Not all of these are painters, by the way. It says, meaning doesn't come with titles. If fame finds you, keep working in spite of it. Chaos is handmade. Wow. So they could be someone who works with their hands. Okay, they could definitely work with their hands or like be, yeah, very creative, very hands-on, maybe have their own business. They have a very unique style. Okay. Let's get the third card. And we have Dragon, Triumph, Greed, Guardianship. Interesting. I actually want to read this one out of the book for us all. Dragon. Okay, it says serpentine, scaly and horned. The dragon is an earthly devil, but dragons are not inherently cruel. Greed is their downfall, and they will risk their life to defend a clutch of hoarded gold. A dragon's blood makes a knight's armor impenetrable, and their arrows true. Their breath of fire kindles human courage. Dragons make heroes. Interesting. Okay. Triumph. Okay, what I'm getting about this person here through these cards is I think they may have been through something very difficult in their lives with the dragon. Like they may have had to face their own dragons or some big dragon in their life. Maybe their life hasn't been very difficult, very easy. Okay. Yeah, to me, this is like adding to this person. Maybe they really have been able to experience the duality of life, right? And maybe that's why they focus on beauty, right, in their pursuits. These things, these maybe dragons or these painful experiences that grow character. I think this person has a very deep character about them because of maybe the harshness that they've gone through, and maybe they've been through their own transformation with greed. It's interesting because it's as if fame finds you, keep working in spite of it, right? So maybe this person has developed or got to a certain level of success, and maybe they've learned that that's not quite, everything that it was made out to be. Like maybe they've learned very, big lessons around those things. Yeah, because it's like triumph. There's something here about overcoming a difficulty, overcoming the dragon. Seeing the beauty, right? Seeing the growth. All right, let's get more here. I'm very interested in this person. I want to know more. yeah, it's almost kind of, it might not be this for everybody, right? But we always hear about these artists, right? In their past, they were like drug addicts or sex addicts. All of these things, like there's a lot of dragons in these artists, very talented artists, pasts, which creates their art, and makes their art so beautiful and so unique, and it's such depth because of the experiences they've had, or their demons, if you will, that they've had to face in their own lives. And maybe it wasn't this direct person, maybe it's been in their inner circle of people around them, right? But I feel like this person has seen some stuff, seen some darkness. Okay. Yeah, Three of Swords. They've definitely had some kind of difficult past. Knight of Swords. See, like, I really think this person's very determined. Like, they were given a certain situation and they took it and they ran with it. Like, they used it to propel them forward. They used it to move, to create, to become something. The Devil. So there we go. We have like another, the Dragon card talked about the Devil, right? They've faced a lot of darkness, faced a lot of their own temptations, demons. Six of Cups. Did a lot of healing. They had to heal very deeply. Look at that. Four of Wands and the Queen of Cups. Oh my gosh. So this is pretty beautiful. I think they see you as a safe space, right? A soft, safe space, right? It's someone they can feel safe with and open up to, right? And I think Spirit here is really focusing on this person and their past to get a deeper understanding of maybe where they've come from or who they are, or like why they are the way they are, or, yeah, just like a deeper understanding of their character. It's like they've come from a hard place, perhaps, but I think they see you as a very soft landing, right? As someone who's safe, who I can open up with, who I can love, who I can commit to, right? Four of Wands talks about, marriage, commitment, safety, security, and the Queen of Cups, someone loving, someone open, someone I can share with, I can grow with, Yeah, Seven of Wands. I think this person felt like the world was against them for a long time, or that there was a lot of energy that was, directed at them negatively. Okay, because, yeah, they may have been surrounded by a lot of bad people, a lot of bad energies. And maybe they had their own temptations that they fell into, that caused maybe damage or hurt. And they had to do a lot of healing, right? But the Six of Cups, I think they've healed through something, right? Whether that be art or whatever their passion is, I think they've used that as a tool to heal themselves, right? And I think they see you as almost like the freedom of the past, right? Of coming out of that and landing into a soft place, landing into a nice environment, with someone they love or can love, or, can honestly be with and commit themselves to. Chaos is handmade. Chaos is handmade. I think they see their own responsibility in their past, in how they created chaos in their own lives, right? Maybe through many lovers, right? Choose as many styles as you do lovers. It's like maybe they're swapping their past, right, for good, for goodness, right, for commitment, for something. They want something new. They see that the chaos was their own creation, right, within their lives or within the past, and how it led them to, only to be hurt and to be disappointed. And it led them down the wrong path. 4 of Cups and the 9 of Wands. Why am I getting that this is you and death? There's a lot here about dissatisfaction, right? With a big past, a lot of trial and error, right? A lot of mistakes, a lot of growth, right? It's like, and honestly, a lot of being tired of it. So I don't know if you know this person. I don't know if you have some history. You might not even know who this person is. But I think maybe you've just been waiting for something or someone, right? Or maybe some progress. But there is transformation around the situation, right? There is change here. And I know you're tired. I know you're tired of waiting, and you're exhausted, and you're discontent, and you're like, when are, maybe they going to change, or when are they going to show up? But there's transformation. There's a shift going on. 10 of Wands. Yeah, they're at the end of some kind of karmic cycle. And the 3 of Cups, right? Celebration, coming together, right? Sharing love. An expression of love. So I think this person, maybe you've been ready before them, right? Even if maybe you don't even know about them yet. It's like you've been maybe healed, waiting for them to kind of heal or come towards you, right? They're at the very end of a karmic cycle of their transformation. And then they're going to be freed. They're going to be freed to move forward, right? Then there's going to be this celebration, this upliftment, this coming toward. Okay, let's get more. Sharing of themselves. The Fool, yeah. They're going to take a leap of faith, right? They're going to move toward you. There's a new beginning. Yeah, there you go. The Empress, right? Creativity. I think they are, because they're just at the end of a hard karmic cycle in their lives, right? That's very burdensome on them. They've been through a lot, right? And they're amidst, their own transformation. But look at that. They will be freed soon, right? With a brand new beginning, a brand new page, a brand new cycle in their lives, feeling free, feeling liberated. And they can then come towards you, and you're sitting here, ready for love, open, or ready for this thing, ready for creativity, if this is, a creative pursuit. But I think they see you as someone who's also very open, very healed, very loving, very creative. I think, it's always those people who have been so hurt in the past, or even who have done very, you could say a checkered past. A lot of those people have the biggest hearts, right? And they're just hurt, and they cover up that hurt with these, bad habits, these things, but it's, once those people heal, they have such a huge capacity for love, right? But I really think this person sees you as a really loving, magnetic, maybe even a mother or father of their children, or, a life partner or a creative partner that just, has so much to give and has so much talent, right? And so much capability. So I think they aren't going to be able to, they're not going to be staying far from you. They're just wrapping something up and then they're coming right towards you, right? They can't stay away, like you're too attractive. Yeah, moment to moment, Two of Pentacles. It's like they're making their steps, like it's coming step by step. They're making their way, okay? They are on their way. It's just moment to moment, right? Yeah, Two of Wands, possibilities. So 2 and 2. So 2s talk about, you know, we're at that like decision-making moment, right? Where we decide to act, to move, to go, right? To fly, to expand. So there's an expansion. They're taking flight, right? They're done with something here in the past and they're about to fly towards the future. And look at that. We have the 10 of Pentacles at the bottom coming together, right? This stability, this growth, this legacy, okay? Building something together, perhaps. Yeah. So I think Spirit is here saying, you know, don't worry about this. I know maybe you've been worried, you've been like overthinking about this, but they're like something new is beginning. They're like, it's going to be so fun, so playful, right? So loving, so passionate. This energy is really about to switch from sorrowful, worried, you know, down. When is it going to happen? Or is this going to, you know, change? Or is this going to come through? To, you know, elation, to fun, to celebration, right? To joy. Yeah, 7 of Swords, politics, and turning it. So this is here saying, don't let the thoughts, right, play tricks on you. Don't let your mind play these tricks on you, okay, of, you know, maybe they're no good, or maybe they're playing me, or just your mind, your worried mind. They're like, you know, shut out those voices of doubt, of worry, of anxiety, of fear. And they're like, tune in to your emotional body. Tune into your intuition. What is it telling you? Right? What does it tell you? Okay. Yeah, if you were at all attracted to pile number 1, I would check that out. There might be a message in there for you. Okay. We have the Magician with awareness. We have partnerships and alliances, the 3 of Wands. And we have Shadow, the Moon. You have the Tower, disruption, the bottom. Yeah, I think this person had to face a shadow before they could come towards you. But it seems as though they have come to a new awareness within themselves. Their awareness has grown. Their awareness has changed, right? And I think what they're realizing or coming to is that they either want a relationship, right? And so somehow you guys are going to connect and meet, or they have, you know, changed within themselves and they're ready to commit to you. They're ready to settle down, or they're ready to come towards you in a very committed way, right? In a way that's good for all, in a way that's going to benefit us all, right? And I think they're coming out of a shadow, out of a time of healing and transformation. Yeah. They were misaligned, they were disrupted, and they had to come back into alignment. They had to come back into balance, right? They had to come back into balance. Five of Cups. They were suffering from an emotional loss, disappointment, heartache, heartbreak, or some kind of emotional trauma or pain, right? That made them feel misaligned within themselves, that made them feel out of balance, out of character, right? So it affected them a lot. And so now they're about to come into their balance, into their wholeness, right? And I think that they see you as this person who's also a good balance for them, right? Who's also going to help heal, bring light into their lives. Yeah, sacral chakra. I think they see you as the divine feminine. We saw the Queen of Cups, right? The Empress, and there's the sacral. So I think they see you as the divine feminine for them. Solar plexus, and them becoming the divine masculine, right? Yeah, temptation. They had to fight their own temptations, their own demons. But it's completed now with the world, right? That's a successful completion, right? We're having new awareness about things. We're overcoming our lower nature, okay? And sacrifice, hangman, yeah. There was a time where this was either on pause, you didn't know about this person, or you didn't have contact, or something happened between you, okay? Because they needed some time out to face their own demons, to face their own darkness, okay? To heal from that. And I think they've been able to do that. I think they've been able to take charge and to act in a more positive way, or to make this energy, almost direct this energy in an actual positive or creative way, right? Instead of giving into these lower habits or lower energies. This is saying there's been a big awakening, a big lesson learned, right? A big achievement that is ending this time of darkness, fear, pain, hurt, whatever this may be, that was, maybe put things on hold or on pause, or, unable to move or shift or grow. That is now changing. And I see this person now taking action forward. Okay. Yeah. Again, divine masculine. Okay. I see them coming in balanced within themselves, but also seeing you as that balance, this really healthy balance, right? This really loving space. I think they've changed and they're ready to commit in this new way. Okay, pile number 2. That was your reading today, and I hope this was helpful for you as far as, this person, this energy coming in for you guys. Please let me know in the comments if you'd like to share. I would love to hear from you guys. Also, let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And I will see you guys in the next Advent video or event that we have going on. All right, so all of my love, pile 2, peace. Hello, pile number 3. Welcome to your reading. This is who's coming towards you. This is also day 7 of our tarot Advent. So very looking forward to our reading today. You guys were attracted to the shiny gold ornament. 7, 3, 12, and 8 are your numbers. Now, we have some artists. This is the art oracles. So we have some artists here to kind of get us a flavor for this person, kind of like maybe what they're like, their path in some way. So we're going to try to get as much kind of clues as far as who this person is or what they're like. Okay, so we have Sonia Delaunay. I hope I'm saying that right. It says, don't live to 94 without founding an art movement. The practical should also be art. And does your geometry lack poetry? Okay. We have Sophie Callie, or Calais. Put on a good show for the surveillance cameras. I actually love that. Distance makes the heartbreak stronger. Okay. Invade neighboring states of privacy. Okay. And we have Charles and Ray Eames. Design your days, don't plan them. Aspire to profound practicality and be unbending in your flexibility. There's something about practicality. The practical should also be art, and it says aspire to profound practicality. That's interesting. Okay, this card, I mean, take it as it resonates. It's not going to be a message for everybody, but I think that this person, like, put on a good show for the surveillance cameras, and distance makes the heartbreak stronger. It almost feels like there could be some space between you guys at this time. There could be a little bit of distance. Maybe it's been maybe you've been on a break. Maybe you don't know this person at all. Maybe, you know, you guys live in different places. You've been talking via, you know, text or social media or whatever. But it seems that, put on a good show for the surveillance cameras, maybe this person has been looking at your socials, or like really kind of like looking at your stuff to like kind of maybe see what you're up to, keep an eye on you. Not in a creepy way, right? I see this as very a sweet connection, actually. Okay. And I want to see, what is this connection with the practicality? Because there's something about elevating practicality. It's like, maybe you guys are both very practical people, right? But you also like to do things in maybe a more extravagant or extra way. Because geometry, right, is pretty practical, right? It's a practical use of math, I guess, if that's the right thing to say. I don't know. But there's something here about, like, yeah, practicality, shapes, but elevating that. So maybe they design furniture, or maybe they're a designer of some kind. They don't have to be. But maybe this is just their personality. Or maybe this is something you both share. Like a love of practicality, but also a love maybe for art, or like, you know, elevating practical things. I don't know. Okay. Cat, helper, contentment, and mastery. Okay, so I'm going to read this one out of the book. I've been doing that. It just helps me get a stronger sense of the energy here in this person. Okay. So it says the cat dozes by the hearth with one eye open and a secret, satisfied grin. With aloof curiosity, they calculate the moment to pounce. Remember, I was saying, you know, they're kind of watching. Maybe they're watching you. They're kind of watching from a distance, right? Calculating their moment to pounce. So they were very much like maybe waiting and watching. Maybe you found them boring before or something like that, or maybe on the surface they might look like very like boring or like well put together. Maybe that's the practical thing. But I think they're much more than you know them to be or understand them to be. Okay. With aloof curiosity, they calculate the moment to pounce. A helper who helps themselves. For the dead mouse presented to the kitchen maid will earn the cat a dish of cream. Goodness is one way to find happily ever after, but the cat knows another. Spoils caught are sweeter than those given. Wow, that's interesting. I love that line. Goodness is one way to find happily ever after, but the cat knows another. That's hilarious. Because the cat knows. It's almost like through this pounce, through this death that they bring their master, they get a treat, right? It's like the cat is helpful and sweet, but it's not only out of goodness, like it's out of, being helpful in other ways, which can sometimes be, maybe that's the practicality, being helpful in other ways. Yeah, this person might maybe they do things a little bit differently, maybe on the surface of what they're perceived to be. Right? It's like maybe they're perceived to be one way, but actually they're, it's like maybe their goodness is shown in other ways. There is something, be unbending in your flexibility. Unbending. Okay, I need more. I need some more. Anyways, I think they're definitely about to come towards you. They're about to pounce. Maybe they do things in maybe an unorthodox way. Please help me here, Spirit. Surrender. Get the heart. Reflection. Freedom. Wisdom. Forgiveness. Surrender. So reflection, they could definitely be a reflection here. There's something about maybe not judging a book by its cover, or not throwing away something because of maybe one aspect of them that maybe doesn't gel with you, or that you're like not sure of. I think this person's going to surprise you. That's what it is. I think this person's going to surprise you. Maybe on the surface, yeah, they look one way, or they look very straight cut, or like unflexible, unmoving, maybe, yeah, like, very square, to use the older terminology. But I think this person's going to surprise you in a very good way. I just think they might have a level of knowing themselves and knowing what they do, what they bring, and who they are. Like there's this level of mastery. And it's almost like this is a moment of reflection. This is actually a mirror to you. And almost to maybe surrender to this process, to surrender to what this is, to surrender to this person. Or maybe this person disturbs your life in some way, or you don't want to get out of your comfort zone. Does your geometry lack poetry? Is there something missing in your life? Is there something missing, like maybe excitement or contentment? Okay. Maybe it's time to come together. Design your days, don't plan them. Like almost like something don't be too rigid. So I will do my best on this one. This one's a little bit tough for me to grasp, but I will try my best and get more information. Okay, so we have the Ace of Cups in reverse with expression. And then we have the Nine of Pentacles in reverse with drive. This is the only deck I take reversals, by the way. We have the King of Wands, exaggeration. Okay, can I get some clarity? persuasion. Mistrust, dimness. These are all in reverse. There could be something, I don't know if you know this person. I think a lot of you might know this person already. Not going to be for everyone. This could also be this person comes in and the impression that you get. Okay. And at first it's like you mistrust their expression of love or who they are. Right? Or like what motivates them, what drives them. It almost seems like something feels exaggerated. Maybe they're working too hard to persuade you, or that's what it feels like. Or maybe they're not working hard enough. Dimness. There's almost a dim outlook on this person or on who they are. Of their expression, and you almost mistrust this person or mistrust how they express love or their motives. Okay, so what's the truth? What is the truth of this person? Because with the cat, it's like the goodness, goodness is a happily ever after, but it's like, but that comes in other ways too, right? It doesn't just come from one avenue, or maybe you have a maybe more smaller idea of or expectation. Maybe you have a certain expectation of what this person is, or maybe like a preconceived notion or judgment. And yeah, judgment, revelation. There's a new revelation here. There's an awakening about this person. There's like something maybe new or different you didn't see about them. I think you've been misjudging them a little bit. Yeah, Ace of Swords mentality. There's like a new sight, a breakthrough here. There's a breakthrough with this person. Maybe they show you a different side of themselves, or maybe you see, you see it kind of maybe beneath the surface, underneath the surface. And it's like maybe they're growing on you, or they start to grow on you, right? Maybe your first impression wasn't great. Something was exaggerated. Maybe something was puffed up. I don't know. But I feel like there's this feeling of like, let go, surrender, stay curious. Stay curious about this person. Stay curious about this situation, right? I think they're going to surprise you here. Strength in reverse with uncontrollable. And then we have the Lovers with inconsistencies in reverse. Oh, this could trigger something within you that makes you feel maybe out of control, right? Because we do have the Ace of Cups. We do have the Two of Cups here. But there's something you mistrust. Maybe they spark some kind of trigger, right? But Spirit, I think, is here to say, no, this is like, right? I think you're meant to awaken. This is maybe helping you awaken, helping you come to see something. Because maybe you're shown how out of control you are in this situation, or having to surrender to feeling out of control, or out of, letting go of the reins, right? Maybe falling in love is you have to release that feeling of control, right? Because you are in this thing, right, with someone else. You do have to trust, right? And so either there's been some inconsistencies around maybe your energy, maybe around their energy too, right? But I think maybe it's felt exaggerated, or the energies felt exaggerated. Let's see. Five of Cups, Two of Wands, and the Ace of Pentacles. Yeah, this just feels like there's something within us that is still unhealed, and it's maybe, it's like projecting onto this person. Or it's just our fear of getting disappointed again, or our fear of being heartbroken again, or, you know, someone hurting us again. But with this Two of Wands, this feels like, you know, leaving this kind of energy in the past and going for this new thing, going for this new opening, or this new relationship, or this new thing that maybe they come through or they offer. You know, maybe at first we're untrusting, we mistrust it. Maybe there's been a lot of ups and downs or inconsistencies. We haven't felt aligned, but it feels like we're coming aligned now. There's an opening here. Yeah, the Eight of Cups. Nine of Swords. Death. Yeah, we're leaving behind some kind of stress, worry, the past. Anxiousness. Maybe the past, the traumas that are kind of coloring this now. Right, but this is being left. We are moving beyond this now. Transformation, we are changing, right? There's new growth. There's a rebirth here. Okay, I'm going to get a different deck. Tell me more, tell me more. Please give me some more details. It's funny, I feel like with a lot of you, there's some kind of like, I don't know, history. It just feels like there might have been some distance. Or maybe it's like, it's really brand new. Or there's been like, you know, they're watching me, I'm watching them or something. But there's been this like misalignment of coming together because of like, maybe it's been both of you mistrusting each other. Or mistrusting, you know, love. Or connection. Look at that, soulmate right out the bat. Right? So this is a soulmate connection. You can trust this. Okay? You can trust this. Right? Their expression of love might look very different, or might like, you know, be a little bit off-putting at first. Like, I don't know. There's something that happens a lot, actually. You know, when me and my partner first got together, the first time, like, I was like friends only. You know what I mean? And I would have never guessed, but the more we hung out, it grew, you know. It grows. You just see another side of them. And again, we have the cats. Cats might be, you know, significant here for a lot of you guys. But yeah, there's something here, I think, about them surprising you. Yeah. That's beautiful. So this is soulmate. Comfort. Yeah, maybe you're not used to this kind of like love, or like this kind of, you know, maybe it seems boring to you, or like slow, or I'm not sure, but this is a long-term thing. Like, they're here to bring you comfort in your life. And so it might look like might be our practical message, but there is an elevated version of practicality, right? It's not just boring. It's like there is something special here. There is something beyond the everyday, right? And it is meant to bring you comfort. It is meant to be comfortable, right? And feel good. Romance, are you kidding me? Look at all this, guys. This is love, okay? News. So we had that message of pouncing. So they are coming towards you with a message. They're definitely coming towards you. There is news, there is growth, there's a message coming your way. Okay, this is a soulmate, this is romance, is in the air, comfort. Oh, pile 3. Don't be afraid. Okay, and don't judge them too harshly, you know, on the first looks or the first little bit. This is really going to grow, or this is really going to change. Give this person a chance, you know, let them show you, you know, who they are. I think this is your soulmate. This is a beautiful connection, very comfortable, loving, long-term one. So, you know, it might be a little bit different, right? But I would say surrender to your heart, surrender to the moment, right? Look where maybe you're being a little bit rigid, or a little bit, you know, unmoving, or a little bit, you know, closed off, right? Good vibes. This is good vibes, okay? Sensitivity. Yeah. You might be highly sensitive at this time. That's okay. You know, give grace to yourself, of course, but I think you can feel something. Something's good, right? This is good vibes. Spirit wants to really tell you, let you know. I don't know if you know this person. I don't know if they've come in yet. But I think you guys are meant to have an awakening together. You guys are meant to, you know, to grow together, to come into a new spot, right? This is definitely a soulmate, a soul tribe member that are coming in with love and with, you know, news, a message. You know, this is they're like a really good bowl of chicken noodle soup or ramen, you know, like it's delicious. There's a little surprise, you know, ingredient in there. You're like, ooh, that's nice. You know, a little spice. On the surface, might just look like, you know, noodles and an egg and some onions, but then you like dig in, right? And you're like, oh, this is like kind of spicy. There's some mushrooms in there. There's some, you know, whatever's. So, yeah, I'd say don't judge a book by its cover. Open, surrender, you know, try not to close off. Try to let this person, it's like, give it time to like breathe and air and become and like, yeah, grow, right? I think there's more to be found. There's more to be discovered here. There's a surprise. Okay, I hope that made sense. I really do. I hope that made sense to you. Let me know in the comments, you know, if this resonated at all in any way. I'd love to hear from you guys. And yeah, I hope you enjoyed this reading today. This was who's coming towards you. All right. And this is your day 7 of Tarot Advent. And I will see you guys on day 8. All right. Tomorrow. So thank you so much for being here. I will see you guys on the next one. All of my love. Peace.